Yay. Welcome. My name's Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia, and it's just about to turn 5 o'clock in the morning on a Monday for me. The market's not open. Well, the FOREX market, the cryptos are still running, but it's about 4 hours away from the market opening. All right. So we get an opportunity to sort of look at what's happening coming forward and sort of what's happened before. So let me just share this first. So this notice is a welcome to this live Forex analysis session. Just note that any trades discussed in this group are to be classed purely as educational only. That's because we're a group of people helping each other and we are not financial advisors. There is a full risk disclosure and a little bit about us as live session traders. All right, let's go and look at charts, see what things were like and what potentials. So this is a relaxed trading method based primarily on daily candles or daily time frames. Yeah. So we'll look at down for the AUDs to start with. So AUD CAD, it's been the downtrend for a considerable amount of time, like since the end of September. It has pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. It gave us a long here, but from sort of Darren, I mean, these rails do change, but there's no real body of candle outside there. So if you did take a trade on this long, yeah, just depends. Welcome, Tom. Right. So uh, trend bar's changed, got a short, pulled up, back down again. Now, since we've been yeah, I'm gonna log in. Oh, he's logged in twice now. Okay. Um, yeah. So welcome, Tom.
Hey, Brian.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, in the land of possibilities. All right. I just yeah, going through things. Have things started to move or have sorry, has price moved with many pairs for you to get into trades or
No, not really. I mean,
okay.
I profited out of the couple, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting for this week to get back into. I had I don't know 20 some trades set up, and they never triggered. So now I'm going into
Directly.
this week going, okay, let me reset up all those trades again and see if they trigger this week.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Based upon the information you have from the last week and whether um
Right, exactly.
and you're still working off
Excuse me.
Rankos.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Lovely. Yeah, there's not been
It's just
yeah.
not a lot of movement.
No, 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 no. Which also, keeps you out of bad trades as well,
Oh, absolutely.
which is great.
In fact, I was up just a little bit of profit on one of them, and 10 o'clock was rolling up on Friday,
Mhm.
and it had just triggered me in, and I was like, eh. just kill it. I'll just pick it up again Monday.
Mm,
No
mm.
rush. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're not sort of sure what's going to happen with it. So that's right.
Right.
All right, good one. All right, welcome, Darren.
All right.
Hey, Brian. I'm sorry. Hello, Darren.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting so welcome to a new week, and we'll see how we go. We'll see whether I was just mentioning Darren to Thomas to Tom that there's not been a lot of movement over the last couple of weeks, really. I mean, there's a bit,
No.
but no real trade opportunities. I mean, this is the issue with this sort of relaxed type method. It's sometimes a feast and then a famine. You got to be comfortable with whatever it is.
I will say these raincoats have really made me more patient than I could ever imagine.
They've caused that to occur, you're saying?
Yes. It's like I want to get into trades. I want to get into trades, and then we sit here for a week and they don't move. Like, okay, well, maybe next week.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, you're doing setups, and that's the thing is they don't trigger because there's really not the movement, and there's just obviously consolidation. Then they're not going to get you in and risk you. From that sort of point of view, as I said, it's sort of keeping you out of bad trades.
Yep.
Or trades that aren't moving.
I'm just doing a bit more sort of looking back at these.
Oh, hang on a minute.
With with the new rules, and this is it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean say this is what will happen going forward, but all the trades that of mine that are completed this year, i.e., since 1st of January, just to analyse them all, where to go in, where to get out, and then applied the new rules. So that's the two positions, 1% each.
Yeah.
The rules we discussed, and the results would have been roughly about 9% better, 8-9% better with that, and that's in spite of taking three sort of quick fire, what would have been double losses, in the
yep. The AU and NU and
yeah,
AU,
NU, and then USD CAD was another one which shot up and
spiked.
So
Yep.
that's in spite of losing 6% on those three positions, which you would have done.
You still would be up 9%.
Yeah, and that's in what, sort of about 5 weeks.
Wow.
9% better, yeah, about 8-9% better, yeah. May not sound a huge amount, but I mean, it might not work out that way, but if you sort of apply that across 12 months, a year, that's 100%, isn't it? Across
It potentially could be. Yeah.
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 So
Well, Darren's a little fired up.
Yeah, I am.
God.
So I'm thinking now 1% each rather than this 0.75%.
Yeah.
Because I think because of the moving the stop loss to break even much earlier, I think I can afford to go that bit bigger on the lot sizes.
Right.
Because a lot of them become risk free, don't they? But much sooner than they would have done under the old rules.
And also, where are you placing your stop loss at entry?
That's with the tighter stop loss as well.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's what I was going to say. So that makes sense to me. All of that makes perfect sense. You're still following the fact though that you need body of candle outside of the rail. So that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
What about the situation? Like, let's go here. Let's go to your AUD. example, you got well, it didn't, well, probably with the rails, maybe it was out a bit. So you got into that short. It did this, it poked back up. It, basically you would have been potentially stopped out on that.
I don't think so. Oh yes, sorry, with the tighter stop loss.
You would have with the tighter stop loss. It poked up,
Um,
but
well,
that's okay. It's all right. I'm sort of looking at something a little bit different with it from this point of view, though. So you had that. It came.
well, it would have been
Well,
close, that wouldn't it? But yeah, it would have done that massive.
yeah. This couple of push-ups there would have probably stopped you out. But beside the point, let's maybe not a great example, but what I'm talking about here, though, and you messaged in the group, this has come to 3/4. If you only had one trade, that's right, you halved it or whatever. But if you had two trades, one would have closed, and the other one's continuing, in that
Yeah,
situation. And you have moved your stop loss from wherever it was, so it would have been up there, but
yeah,
just
it's
that
break even.
situation. Yeah, and now you've got it back down to break even, which is here, right? Okay, so where I'm at with it, and I'm just suggesting so you're at break even. So if this actually then pulls back up to here, right, in the next couple of days, then you are the trade is closed at break even. You've got one, you haven't lost the other trade. Okay.
Yeah,
You haven't won anything out of it either. What I'm thinking about here in this situation is we've had a couple of, a short sell sells, right? Continue. What happens when you have something like that? You'll have some sort of a buy, right? So it depends on
right.
how far this goes down and whatever the buy is. If then you get a sell, so let's, well, I won't do it, but say market opens, we get a little bit of a push up, and then we get another push down, right, in the next couple of days. For me, what I'd be doing is I then would move my stop loss down that little bit to the top of, once it's done that sell, to the top of the little pushback.
Yeah,
That's me at this point. Once the 3/4 closes,
yeah,
which means that there's a small margin of profit. If it then continues further down, pushes back up a bit, then back down, well, I'd move my stop loss back down to that next pullback until it made the rail, which is where your ultimate sort of take profit would be.
yeah,
Because for me, once you have a 3/4 trade profit, then my focus is to stay on this pair to maximize, or to first minimize my loss on a second trade. One, two. The second part of it is to try and gain some profit from that to the rail or not. That's all I'm
yeah.
talking about. I'm not saying it's going to be large profit, but yeah. Anyway, right. So ADCAD was one where you didn't get into that trade because it wasn't far enough out of I think. But if
No, I did
we,
actually. It was at the time. I didn't get in.
oh, you did get in.
Yeah, took
All
out
right.
half the
At the 3/4,
3/4 and then came back and the other half break even.
and it has
Come back to
Stop.
break even. Yeah. Yeah.
Stopped you at break even.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
There's one positive three-quarter and not a loss on the second trade.
Mhm. I mean,
Okay.
that was just one trade. That was just one trade, and I set an alert at the
Yeah, and you did a half, and then
Yeah.
okay. No, I understand that because I just got to remember because this was back in. I know it was still January when you did that. Okay, but we hadn't talked about this three-quarter or whatever it is. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Oh, that's good then. So now you're actually out of this trade. You're in no trade at this point.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for it to either go to one side of the rail or the other side of the rail before another trade will be taken. Okay.
Yeah.
So this could take a considerable amount of time, or
Yeah.
could be months before any trade is initiated on this. Okay.
I can see this just continuing to slide along the that centre line, to be honest, as it was doing
Yeah.
prior to taking that trade, just hugging the centre line and
Yeah.
for the overall trend downwards. But we'll see.
Well, we've got the 18th of, where is it? It's going to be there somewhere. 18th of Feb. So it's not this week. It's next week. There's going to be a rate decision here. So whether it's on hold, whether it's lowered by quarter basis point, we'll just see what happens. But there's also too the lead up to an election has already started. There's billions being promised here, there, and everywhere. So they're trying to sweeten up the whole. What's the term? Pork barreling, isn't it? So anyway, so we'll just see what happens in this situation. Okay, so let's go through the pairs and see what opportunities may be coming up, be there, not be there. In the middle line, nothing. If it pushes up further and then out of the rail, then we'll look at potentially a sell on that one. Okay. It's pretty simple to go through them and look with these basic rules at the moment. ADJPY. Now, it's coming close to the outside of the rail here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a sort of a like, oh, notice me type of situation. So this one will be, this one will be, I think we've got that color up there. This will be back to there. Right. So nothing at the moment. Wasn't there. So we also need a triangle. You need a triangle too, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can't body out, need a triangle, and then we'll look at what we do from there. And it's a two trade option, and you're talking about one on both. Right, okay. AUD, NZD, just sideways. This is just, a mess. Not really doing anything. Not really bothering with that one either. AUD, Singapore. All right, now, this didn't come out. We got along there. Not taking a trade on that one either. Yeah?
Correct.
Good. And it's sort of going away from any opportunity that we can have as well for a potential trade. AUD USD. Again, a very similar, you were in that long, got knocked out, and now it's pushing back up again. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, that would have been a double loss under
the current rules. Okay. So again, it's like we feared a right out of non-farm payroll. There wasn't really a lot of there wasn't too much craziness that went on. But
no,
this could
be
very
non-eventful.
Very mild,
Non-farm payroll.
mild NFP.
Yeah.
Not like the start of the week where it was
No.
tariffs it went crazy.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a
So,
non-event really this time.
which is okay. Well, we can handle that. So yeah, in the mid range again, not anything to sort of talk about, notice, or a potential trade to take. Right. Yeah. All right then. There's more I want to discuss about this though, Darren, but we'll get to that once we go through pairs and have a look at this after time. This CAD's what a crazy move when you got something like that, touch, and then off it goes. Again, we're not taking any trade at this point on this. He came out, gave us a short. That's great. Would have been 3/4. Came back. You could have potentially had a little bit of the second trade, but anyway. But at the moment, no opportunity. That's not far enough out. Don't have any triangle underneath it. It's just let's see if it makes it out to the other side of the rail. CAD JPY. Now, we don't have a triangle here either, which in a way, I don't know if you remember, we spoke about this last week, Darren. No triangle, but it pulled up and now it's dropped back down again.
Yeah.
So it's like as if that wasn't, even though it pushed out significantly out of the rail, it wasn't that there was going to be a turn or a change in direction. It's come back. So this is a potential as well. Yeah. We have a potential to look here of a trade opportunity potentially when it's ready, right? So that sort of pink for me indicates that. All right, CHF and JPY. Here we go. Now, no triangle yet, but certainly we've got potential trade opportunity of this. Now, this is if price changes, turns. We haven't got a green triangle yet. But price is certainly pushing itself down and out of the rail. First thing, correct, Darren? That's your first sort of sign of well, hang on, let's wait and see.
I took
yeah.
I took a 1% loss on this, but under the new rules, that would have been a 1% profit off the first position. And the 3/4 line.
And a break even.
A break even, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, off this trade back here, which was around the 9th of December.
Yeah.
And you basically lost because it came back down and knocked you out while you were sitting on your hands. Okay. So, and I hope that's all right that I point that out, Darren. It's just that the change in the decision of the rules would have profited that, as you said, which is good. Okay, no worries. Hopefully this we help. So this is now in play as such, waiting for a potential turn and for us to get into a trade on it. Very similar to the sort of this situation here. We're going to wait for a pull back up along and get in for the 3/4. Okay. Here's your AUD. At the moment, I didn't put that. Anyway, that would be a sell on that. From that point, there you played this one the old rules, so the stop loss was up there, so you just were in by the skin of your teeth, and now you're in profit on it. Yeah. But you've closed half of that trade at 3/4 whatever at that 3/4 mark, and you're looking at what happens with the rest of it.
Yeah.
And where my suggestion is, Darren, I'm not saying you need to do this because you're a professional trader in your own right, but again, I'd be looking at you've now got a half of the trade, which would under the rules now would be a second trade at break even. I would be looking at this if it pulls back and then drops more. I'd be moving your TP to that, or your your stop profit. That's how I term it, down to wherever that little pullback would be. And if it does it again, until it makes the rail and you profit out, or it jumps back. So once this is the rule I'm looking at is once a trade has made the 3/4, the second trade I'm looking at managing it quite closely, actually. But you're going to look at it on a daily basis. It's only on a daily basis anyway, not anything else. Okay. And if for example, you put the second trade to break even, and this then just goes ding, 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 and knocks you out, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, and all it does is a pull back a little bit and then push back down again, well, I think that's an opportunity to move it back down and to make a small amount of profit on that second trade. That's me. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, EuroCAD. That also to sell on that one thing, that would be a 3/4. Well, you wouldn't have taken that trade because it's not outside the rail.
No.
Okay. Now this is where I am going to say something from my perspective, Darren. For me, this is me, not you.
Yeah.
For me, when I get a triangle and I get a short or a long, so it's either a green and a short and long, right? This is a prime example. So let's just open this up here. Right. So I have a triangle, I have a long, I would get into that trade. I have a triangle, I have a short, I would get into that trade.
Yeah. You know why I changed that rule, don't you? Candle body up.
Because it does that.
It was they're having a quite often, so the rails were repainting and it was turning and pushing up further, so it was to reduce
Absolutely, but I still wouldn't get into the trade until I have a long or a short.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I'm not saying it shouldn't be the way that you do it, right? So if price on a pair does what you're doing outside of the rails, it is a less risky potential trade and potentially much better at going towards the other side of the rail, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the point is, here's a trade and there's a trade.
Yeah. No, there is a trade there. Yeah.
All right. There is a trade and there is a trade as well. This one goes all the way. This one. So this is a really good example here, Darren, of why I'm talking about like that second. So if you get into the short there, get into the trade, and you go 3/4, you have one trade, the other one comes to break even. See how that pulled up and then dropped back down again? I'd move that stop to there, or you'd stop profit, and then when it dropped back off, you'd profit there anyway. Do you know what I mean? But if it pulled up further, so if it came down here and then pulled back up again, you would at least have a margin from here to there of a little bit of profit out of that second trade.
Then why would you get out at the other side of the rail when they're still painting red candles?
Oh, because the Darren's rule is to get out of the trade at the rail. That's all. That's the only reason, Tom.
Okay.
I personally wouldn't until the rail changes, but that's okay. Until trend bar changes. But there isn't any problem with coming out at that point.
No, I'm just saying. But if you can still
visually see with
Mhm.
red candles still printing, why would you
Mhm.
get out of that trade? I could see if you came down and you got an arrow down at the bottom and
Yeah,
a green
yeah.
candle, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
But if that's still painting red and it's running, that thing could run for weeks.
Mm.
The only way I would
That's why I
stay
don't
in there
understand why
would
you
be,
guys just automatically say it reached the other side, I'm out.
the only way I would stay in, the only basis I would stay in would be by sort of trailing the stop loss somehow. Once it hits the other rail, I'd have to then,
Oh.
if I was going to stay in, I would have to try and trail the stop loss.
Well, stop
Yeah.
profit would be then.
Yeah.
It'd be a stop profit. So you would actively trail it. Yeah, well.
I think if you wait for the trend bar to turn green, you're almost back at the rail again, aren't you? By the time
Yeah. I was about to
green,
say that,
pushed up.
Darren. So you sort of haven't won or lost anything, really. You've just been
No.
in trade for a bit longer. What I'm trying to do is have us or whoever wants to less time sitting in unprofitable trade, or sort of like no advantage trade, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So what, like if you got out of the trade at the rail or you stayed in it and it came back to the rail, like why be in it for this bit that you're not going to actually get anything out of?
Because you don't know that's where it's going to stop.
Well,
Yeah, true.
sometimes they do keep going, don't they? I mean, you could simply once you're out to the rail, each close a candle, those sell candles, maybe stop loss to just above the wick at the top of that candle, and just
move your stop
keep
profit. Yeah, move your stop profit.
keep doing that. Just keep doing that until
It knocks you
until
out.
it comes back at you.
Yeah,
Tom, thank you.
you can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
If you're only
Gee.
checking it once a day, every red candle is a new stop loss move.
Stop profit. Yeah.
Stop profit move.
Yeah. I just want to, and the reason why I keep saying it is because it's a mindset thing. It's like it's a stop profit, not a stop loss. We're not losing. We're actually creating more profit from that stop. Yeah.
Correct.
Hey, Darren, is it all right if we talk about like this?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the way that you've been doing it is absolutely fantastic. It's just fine tuning it to get the most out of it rather than sitting there and waiting for it to come back and just knock you out of a trade that you've been in for 4.5 months. And do you know what I mean? It's just like, to me, it's like, oh my God, that doesn't make any practical sense whatsoever. But, like it's quite okay. So, all right, now.
Well, if I'm going to be taking two positions, so talking a 10%, a 2% risk, I really don't want to be staying in trades forever because they're using up.
You're using up your margin.
Yeah, using up my margin then. So so I have to stop doing that if I'm risking 2%. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And then it may mean that you don't take, well, you're not going to anyway take these trades. But certainly I would be looking at potentially these trades here. This is me only, okay? Where I'd be looking at, and I've got to back test some of this, but if I get a triangle and then I get a long, so if I get a green triangle and a long, there isn't a big sort of move between there and there, like because normally it'll be around that midline to 3/4. And this is this is where my head's going, Darren. I would only, in this circumstance here, I would only take 0.5% and 0.5%. I wouldn't take a 1 and 1. If you've got a trade like this, I would take a 1 and 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
These ones here for me are 50/50. Because I haven't made it, and the thinking behind it from my perspective is it hasn't gone rock bottom price and it hasn't gone extreme price. So they're not like they could push further. All right. Anyway, so it's Euro CAD. What I'll do is I'm going to just change that because I'm not actually in the cell of it. But we're waiting for it to be the other side of the rail to then turn to come back again. All right. So what do we got? Balance of trade, unemployment rate. Oh, that's a bit lower. Oh, and you got GDP coming up. Okay. Rightio. Where are we time-wise? I know we're right. Euro CHF in the middle of the row. So here again, like this is another example of what I was talking about. We get a red triangle, we get a short. The stop. Okay, so what would be? Hang on, that'd be a short. You get that short, you would get in the trade probably around about. It depends on where you get in on that second candle. See, there's a problem with this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll do that. And then you would be at the top of this previous candle to the short. That'd be your stop loss. And you'd be at that 3/4. Okay. Now, one of the things that I would, how do I put this? Okay. So there's that situation. Now, what one of the things is for me in this scenario, and it's not for you, Darren, obviously, but for me, if I was to take a trade, you get a red triangle, you get a short, and the next candle is actually a buy candle from a sell, I would not get in that trade. I wouldn't get in that trade until I get a red candle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that short, that's a pullback from there. It could easily come back and, take out the stop loss that I'd put in. So in this situation, I wouldn't be in the trade until that red candle. And that was a candle at the end of the week. So again, I probably wouldn't get into it. And so this, I wouldn't get into that trade at all. Because when it started, it just went from there back up and it was a mess. We had a gap in there and then it took out the gap at the end of the week. So that's a trade I wouldn't be in. Yeah. With what I would have as a rule, because we've got a red trend bar, that's all great. That's also got to be part of it. But then it goes green, then it goes red. So wouldn't be in that trade at all. And you wouldn't because it hasn't gone outside the rail. All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let me try and find another example. No, I can't. There isn't one. Not in there anyway. Okay, so this is a bit of a dud pair at the moment. Euro GBP, you don't trade it. So let me just talk about where I am with it. Beautiful. Outside there, short in the sell. Came to 3/4.
Well, maybe under these new rules, I could trade this.
Oh no! Hey,
Well,
Darren, don't start.
I think my
Don't start.
dislike of it is because I found it unreliable. Doesn't
Don't start crawling out of your cave now, Darren. No, not on this.
no,
pair, mate.
but I only needed to hit the 3/4 line now, don't I, to
Yes, you
do a
do.
profitable trade.
All right, so let's look at this one. If we got a short, you got a short there. I wouldn't get into that trade. This is me again. This is weird, but I wouldn't get in when I've got the next candle. Say it's a short. You could have got in there, and that's okay. There'd be a pullback. That's
But that next candle could have started red, couldn't it, and then turned green. That's the
Yep.
So you may jump in,
right.
and then it turns
Correct.
green if you jumped in.
And there's a 3/4, and you would have made 2% on that already, or 2.5% nearly, right? The second trade would have been a break even. That would have actually, so once you made the 3/4, you would move your second trade to break even, Yeah, there. And that spike up there would have taken you out at break even. You would be out of that. You would have made a 1% and a nothing out of the second trade. That's not bad, is it?
Well, more than 1%, Brian.
Oh,
I've-
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It was a 2 to 1, so I'd have made 2. I was risking 2% initially, and I would have made 2%. No.
Yeah. Risking 2, yeah, you'd get 2.5 out of it. That's right.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Well, I think it's not too bad. And now it's pulled back up. Yeah, that's great. But you're now out of any trades in this pair and you're not risking anything. It could go further down or it could go further up. You don't know. So who cares? You're now risk-free on all of it. It just means that you might not, if it does sell out further, you might not get that bit of profit, but you're not risking anything and you've already got your 2.5% nearly. Anyway.
Well, I've just added it back to my watch list.
Oh, no. That's way too radical now. You don't want to.
Well, I think
take it easy.
Oh, don't see why not. It's not.
Yeah, okay. No worries. It's a little bit like AUD NZD for me, Darren. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, you guys help me out with seeing the possibilities of that, but it needs to fulfill the criteria. And I agree with you. You might not know that might start out as a red candle and you would have been in the trade, but that's fair enough. Okay. AUD JPY. Woohoo. There we go. We go pinky on this one because it's now out of the rail.
You mean Euro JPY?
Sorry, Euro JPY. What did I say?
AUD JPY.
I apologize.
I didn't know whether you were hopping or not.
No, I apologize.
Okay.
Euro JPY. So now, again, this would have been a great example of 2 trades, 3/4, bang, back, profit, ding, ding, finish, right?
Yeah.
Now we've got a situation that this one's outside the rail. I don't have a green triangle, but like, hey, so we've got now so far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 that are sort of shuffling to get somewhere to potentially turn. We'll see. Okay. And again, you can see this really simply. If you apply those new rules, this would have been a beautiful 3/4, a break even, whatever the percent. Thank you very much. Not in the trade for all this rubbish and now waiting for this, right? Just anyway. All right, you're at NZD. All right, here we go. This would have been a non-event under any of the rules, right? Forget it. There's no. Oh, did you have a short over here or?
No, I didn't. Same as yours, Brian.
So again, this would have been under whatever Darren's rules, my new, extended rules. This would have been a non-event and would have been stayed out of the trade, and that's all perfect. Thank you very much, right? No trade at all. And I'd say Tom would probably be nothing there either. It depends. He might have got a little bit here and there.
I'm in this. I'm in it for the sell.
You're in it for the sell. Yeah, and that's all cool.
Yeah.
Lovely. But it didn't fulfill the criteria. It did down here. See this one here, Darren, where, I don't know, it may not have, but it got green triangle here and then along. I would have been into that.
Well, that one further to the left, that long.
Down here.
October, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good example as well. You get into a trade, it pulled back, didn't make the second, and then you would have just followed it up. Yeah, that's a 3/4 there for sure. You're not waiting as long to profit. That's the thing. All right, so this one's now a bit of a dud sitting there from our perspective, yours and mine, Darren, but not for Tom. Okay, Euro Singapore. Again, just dud. Nothing really happening there. Okay, Euro USD. Now again, well, this would have been out rail thing, trade, 3/4,
Yeah.
come back, break even would have been under the new rules would have been great.
Small profit,
right?
only a small
Yeah.
profit. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have
well,
been a
yeah,
small
well,
profit.
exactly. But it would have been a profit, and then it would have
Yeah.
been a break even, no loss on the second, right? But it's not a potential trade
Yeah.
at this point. It's just not really showing stuff.
Instead, I'm
right?
still in it in drawdown, so that's the difference.
Oh God, yeah. Well, we're
Under the old rules. Yeah.
you're still playing it under. You've got your foot in two camps, Darren. You got the
Well,
old rule and the new
it had
rule.
already,
Yeah, I know.
because it already got reached the centre line when I started
Yeah.
thinking of this. It's
Yeah.
I'll just leave it to run under the old rules now, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is that this shows a great example of your stop loss would have been down here, you would have got in up here, it's in drawdown, up again, in drawdown again, so and you're just sitting there in that wondering what's going to happen. Anyway, all right. So GBPs, where are they? What's happening there? We've got an interest rate cut happened last week. It was going up nice, and then it just like lost everything. And there's an example of like new rules to old rules. Triangle short outside the rail in the sell, pull back beautiful. You would have been in the trade down 3/4 profit, back break even, or because you got 3/4 down here somewhere, you would have moved, and it pulled back up, you would have moved your stop loss, and then it would have profited you that extra bit from there to there.
Yeah.
And then it pulled back up, and you wouldn't be in any of this rubbish, and we're waiting for it to come out the other side of the rail. So it's not quite ready yet. GBP CAD. All right. Oh, what am I doing? Don't do that, Brian. Cancel. Right. I did something weird. GCAD, right? So again, just put it there. So this has not given us a triangle up the top, so that short wouldn't have meant anything to me. That long would have, you would have 3/4, you would have probably profited the second trade on the outside if you had have used the new rules. All right. Are you still in that? No, you profited out of that one. Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. Old rules still, you profited. New rules, you would have had 1-2 trades out of that and had a bit more. And now it would have been seeing. So for me, no triangle, that short wouldn't have meant anything. So it doesn't really matter. We're still in that middle. GBP CHF. These rules are pretty straightforward, aren't they, Darren? I mean, there's not a lot of mystery in any of this. This is right in the middle. Forget it. All right. GBP JPY. This is good. We're starting to get a situation where this has come out of the rail. No triangle yet, right? We'll just see how that's sort of setting itself up potentially. GBP NZD in the middle, nothing. See again, new rules, 3/4, being thump, mate. Thank you very much. Out of it. Right. So that's also a nothing at the moment. GBP Singapore. Now you're into that, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm in this one at the moment under the new rules.
Trade under the new rules, yeah. And it's now come back, but it hasn't made the 3/4 mark.
No.
Right. Okay. And you're sort of somewhere around break even, I would say.
Yeah,
Two,
I am. Yeah.
two trades. Okay. All right. And that is, that's a buy on it. Okay. GU. That would have made, I don't know, would that have made a 3/4?
Didn't quite make it, Brian. I've
Yeah,
My
okay.
alert that I didn't quite make it.
Okay, no worries. I'm just sort of looking at it going like, oh, how did
Still in this, and still in profit, but
it's pulling back and down and up, and because British pound had a rate cut. What do you got coming up? Oh, GDP growth. Okay.
yeah.
Let's see how that goes. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Doesn't want to. Oh gosh, don't tell me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this one, you're actually you're in a buy on that one, aren't you? Yep. Let's put
Yeah.
that there. Some remainders. Okay, let's look at NZDs. NCAD. Now, can you see how that would have potentially be a trade for me? But it would have been just a little, would have made 3/4 come back, and now I would have been out. But that would have been just little profits. It's not really. I don't know. I still got to work out whether it's worthwhile or not. All
It
right,
came very late that long, didn't it? That's one,
it
two, three,
did.
4, 5, 6. It's about
Yeah,
8
yeah, yeah.
candles
Yeah, well in.
in the move.
Yeah, and really at the center line too. For me, the center is a little bit of a, like I've always said, it's a bit of a danger zone. You don't know what's going to happen. All right, NZDCHF. Again, in the middle, nothing's happening. No triangle there, long there. It's still just playing around that middle. Price is just happy to be there. NZDJPY. Right, this one I need to put a pinky on because it's now coming outside the rail a bit. If it gives us a triangle along or whatever, we'll just see. Right, NU. Again, nothing really it's just playing along. It's not really moving from one side to the other at all. Well, it did there. You had a long out. I don't know. Did you get into that?
That I did. So that was
Yeah, but it spiked. That was the other one that spiked you out. That's right.
yeah.
On that push down there. The trade wars. Okay. Singapore, Japanese yen. Yeah, that's outside the rail. Let's get a pink one on that. So look at that potentially for a turn to come back. This would have been good double trade as well.
Yeah.
Getting on that long up, 3/4, bang, back, second, done. Simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. USD CAD. Nah. You didn't take it and I wouldn't have either.
No.
It's a weird setup, that one. And all of these little
Still in this
chains.
one.
You still in it for the sell?
Yep.
Good. Good. But it hasn't moved a lot though, Tom, has it?
No,
No.
it
I mean,
threw me into profit, and then it just kind of sat still.
Sat still. Yeah. Okay. All right. And you'll see you've got a fail safe anyway. USD CHF. We're looking at this potentially to come back to 3/4 and off, but there is no trade in that either.
I'm still in this under my old rules for the sell.
Oh gosh. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And that was where it came back by the skin of your teeth. You just were okay. All right. UJ. All right. Oh, this is good. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is getting, let's see. We've got a green triangle. We've got this. Got to wait and see. All right. There's quite a few possibilities in here. USD Singapore. That's not anything like there's this imbalance down here, but it's not doing anything. Forget that one. All right. And then gold. What this rocketing up, eh? Look at that.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
At the moment, it does. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna turn. Silver, I think silver sort of already started to pull back a bit. It hasn't come outside the rail, so Bitcoin's back to 96. It's still just hovering around this 95, 100 sort of range. And where are you with your... Oh, oil's dropped off a bit more.
Yeah. A little bit of a
Right.
pullback on Friday, but
Yeah.
heading down the right direction.
It
Now
hasn't
that's
quite... Has it made 3/4?
it has, yeah. So I'm now risk-free now. So I've taken half out. The rest is a risk-free trade at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could. Well, I guess if you were in it, you'd be thinking of moving the stop loss.
No, I would wait. No, because I'd wait for market to open and for it to sell. If it's sold, I would move the stop loss to above that.
Yeah.
That buy day.
Yeah.
The day of the buy. That's just me. But if you've got to break even and you're fine with that, that's great. But I'm just looking at grabbing a little bit more out of it and not be sitting in trades. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rightio, you've got your lot. We've discussed that a bit. Now, how many have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 potentials this week. Potential trades.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all of them will turn or whatever, but there are 9 that are at the rail at the moment, whether it's outside or close to.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They're the ones we'll monitor, and if anything else comes in close, then we'll look at those too. Everybody, you fine with that, Tom?
Yeah, I have tons of trades set up.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I just want to fine tune up a bit of this. For Darren's one's looking at dailies and we'll go from there. All right, then.
All right. Brilliant.
Have some. What have we got? 6. So 3 hours before market opens. We'll just see what happens and we'll go from there. All right, then. Well, we had a mild weekend here, and now it's going to warm back up to that mid-30s. Still no rain. Anyway, dry as. All right, then, guys.
Okay.
Is that all right?
It's excellent.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Take